running in a group. She had a high-speed motor in a 40 Ford coupe. She had a racing cam and a supercharged. Look at Buddy, hot rod at large. She's a hot rod. She's a hot rod. She's my hot rod, baby.
We're about to talk electric motorcycles as soon as we talk to Uncle Joe. What's up, Uncle Joe?
Well, you read my mind. I was on the line waiting to talk to you. You started introducing the subject, and I was trying to pinpoint, if you can, two things. Kind of describe the performance or capabilities of the electric motorcycle, and can you pin them down on a date in which they might be in Hammond?
Joe, you hang up and listen, because I'm going to put Chuck right through the ringer right now. Chuck, you got to tell me about this. You show me a picture of this and get me all excited.
I know. I got you all excited and salivating.
First of all, first thing I want to know is, are they going to make a three-wheeler like this?
I doubt it.
I doubt it, too. But that's all right. Maybe not this year anyway.
So right now,
is this thing sharp?
Right now, they introduced it in 2014. However, it's just a prototype. And what they wanted to do is that they're taking it around in 2014 and 2015 to 30 different geographic areas in both the United States and Canada. And they're taking it out to different dealerships. They've had it at the Milwaukee Museum. And what they're doing is putting people on it and getting them out there riding it, and then taking that customer feedback, that the rider feedback, and trying to integrate it back into the bike to see if it needs tweaking. Right now, there's not any plans for production. So it's a prototype that's going around the country, and then in 2015 and 2016, they're going to take it over to Europe and do the same thing, where it's going to be over there being at different dealerships, at different motorcycle rallies, and they're going to be putting people on it so that they can get more customer feedback.
Well, anybody who knows Harley-Davidson knows they're not going to do anything till it's right.
Exactly, till it's right.
What
they
want
to get. That's what
they're feeling out the waters. Here.
Exactly. To see if it's financially and really emotionally feasible. Because with Harley-Davidson, it's not so much a rational thing. It's more of an emotional thing. Like, what is the feeling that you get riding that motorcycle? What is the feeling you get looking at that motorcycle?
I can't imagine. It's got to be quiet.
Well, I rode it on a thing called the Jump Start. And the Jump Start is kind of like a phony dyno that they put you on and to kind of strap you in.
Okay, simulator type thing?
A simulator. And, George, the torque and the acceleration is phenomenal, but it doesn't have that traditional potato sound.
I know, but you know what? That's the deal. The same way with electric cars.
Exactly.
The torque and it's direct drive.
It's direct drive, and it's
like
right there.
A golf cart.
It's right
there.
there.
Step on it, it goes. Yeah, but still.
And the sound of it, because they mounted the engine longitudinal instead of transverse, it's got a different sound. So when it goes by you, it sounds like a jet.
Oh, really?
Not like a jet, like a huge jet engine, but a jet going by.
That's fine.
It doesn't have the whir.
I think I could deal with that. I wouldn't mind the potato sound being gone if I could sound like a jet.
Yeah, like you can sound like a jet. And it's got, the weight's about 460 pounds, and supposedly it's going to tap out at about 95 miles an hour. So from 0 to 95 miles an hour. And it supposedly you can ride it for approximately about 80 miles on a single charge.
Wow!
So it's not going to be a typical bike that you're going to be able to take cross country, but for a commuter, commuting around the city and buzzing around town, it's going to be fantastic.
They give you any kind of specs on this thing as to what kind of battery that is?
55 kilowatt.
55 kilowatt, but is it nickel cadmium or lithium ion?
I think it's lithium ion.
Okay.
And it's wrapped. It's wrapped in that aluminum casing, and then it's bolted to the frame, so it gives it structurally it strengthens the frame.
Yeah, because lithium ion, of course, they're making improvements in them every day. But
huge improvements.
Yeah, those were the bad ones originally in the cars.
Right.
And now they're finding like you look at the Toyota Prius.
The Prius?
Yeah. They use a nickel cadmium battery.
Mm-hmm.
You never hear anything bad about those cars, but that's all right. They fixed the lithium ion problem, I know. And I can't wait to see, I want to see a project. Live wire.
Yeah, and Uncle Joe was asking about some specs. How about 0 to 60 in less than 4 seconds?
That should be fast enough even for Uncle Joe.
How about it? Just get on it and hang on.
Yeah, baby.
Twist,
Yeah,
twist that
strap
throttle. Twist that throttle, and there she goes.
Really? So it's all the same without the noise.
It's all the same without the noise.
Wow.
And what they're saying is, what they're targeting is just different individuals. Like you and I, we grow up with the sound of a Harley, but some of the younger generations, they're not really in tune to that sound. Where
No,
they're
you're right.
They like their own thing,
Oh,
and so this is probably not going to be for the traditional Harley guy, but it's going to be for a 20-something who's interested in technology.
Oh, yeah.
And in fact, this motorcycle was brought down to the that tech center in Chicago called 1871.
Yes.
Where they got those headquarters of all those tech companies. They
Yep.
brought it down there so those guys could, so those nerdy guys could take a look
pick
at
it
it
apart,
and
in
pick
other
it
words,
apart
yeah.
and check it out.
Well, you know what? They're going to get input from those guys, too.
They're going to get input from
it
all those
sounds like
guys.
they're testing the waters and doing it right.
Exactly.
They're putting it together in such a way that it's going to be unbelievable.
And that's one of Harley's big focus now is they want to be in the motorcycle business. They want to be the most customer-led motorcycle company in the country.
I believe
They're
they
listening
are,
to
too.
what the customers want and then delivering on the promise to bring it to them.
I understand that you guys can have two things. I got to get to you before we got because we're running out of time here. They got sports coming up. I got to ask you first of all. You got check engine lights on motorcycles now.
Yeah, we do.
They're computer organized.
Yep.
They're fuel controlled.
Yep.
Good for the environment.
Yep.
So it's not a bad thing anymore. Everybody
No.
thought, motorcycles and diesels, we're always polluting the air now. No, they're not.
Right.
Not at all. Not at all. And,
Well, the last year of the carburetors was 2007.
well, that's 8 years ago.
8 years ago.
Yeah.
So now everything is EFI, everything is check engine lights, and you bring it in, they put it on the digital tech, check the codes, see what the digital tech is saying. Sometimes you get those historic codes, sometimes you get some
Right,
ghost
just like
codes.
A car. Just like a
You
car.
you clear 'em, you fix the problem, clear it up, and get the
I
guy
had one
back
the
out
other
riding.
day. I had one the other day with a check engine light with a kid, and when I told his dad that that check engine light set at 92 mile an hour, he was
Oh.
a little bit upset. Okay, one more thing. How about ignition switches? Now I know Delphi built so many Harley,
Right.
just a certain year and a few,
Right.
but Harley was included in the recall.
Yeah, we had a few ignition switch
Have
recalls.
you had to change any
Yeah.
of those?
Yep. Later, earlier models, like I think in 2003 and 2005.
Yeah, but then they just now in 2013 is when they fessed up to building a bad ignition switch.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but
Yeah,
they're
it's
going back to
unfortunate,
2003.
I mean, think about it. It's been going on for decades.
Well, and I know it's the same switch.
Right.
It's coming from the same company.
Exactly.
They all come from Delphi.
Yep.
It's the way it works. We've been talking with Chuck Crissel from Calumet Harley. Chuck, one last word you want to say? Anything you want to tell people?
Let's get out and ride.
Oh yeah, I'm ready. I tell you.
The 50s are coming, and
Oh.
but please, all the motorists out there, please be aware. Motorcycles are going to be everywhere.
Oh yeah, and you know what? And again, your program teaches them to drive defensively, drive like they're invisible. And I think
Exactly.
you're right.
Exactly. You got
I think
to.
you're right because I have been a motorcycle rider, and I've also caught myself not seeing something I should have seen.
Well, and too, George, motorcycles aren't cars. We get so used to driving a car, and the car is so easy to do. Motorcycles aren't cars. They're two wheels, not four wheels. You're
There's
exposed.
balance involved. First
There's
of all.
balance involved. You're exposed to all the elements. Whether it's raining, whether it's wind, whether it's dirt, whether it's heat.
And road conditions,
And road
potholes, all that
conditions,
stuff is worse
exactly.
for you
Exactly.
on a motorcycle than it is for me in a car.
So
Absolutely.
motorcycles aren't sophisticated as cars, and it's easy, especially in cars, to get distracted. Stereos on, you're
Yeah,
eating food, texting,
Oh, God.
All that kind of stuff.
Don't get me
So
started. on
please be
texting.
careful
I
out
get
there.
So mad.
Yeah,
I get so worked up.
I hear you.
Oh, you gotta love it, Chuck. Thanks for coming on. You know
Thanks
what?
for having me, George.
I'm with Chuck from Calumet Harley. Let's go riding. Come
Let's
on.
go.